I'm happy to be here with Andrew and to spend a little bit of time with all of you who are watching this about the things that are going on today and as it relates to our profession. And we all know that the top priority for all of us is worrying about our health and our loved ones. But it's also a time in which we're adjusting to a new way of life, a new normal to some degree that hopefully doesn't last forever, but is something that is affecting our working lives, how we function, and really the vital role that our profession plays in this, what we hope to be a very fast recovery for the globe's economies. And Andrew and I wanted to spend a little bit of time discussing some of the things that we're doing with you so that you can sort of get a feel for the completeness of those activities and really be able to access them as you see appropriate. Andrew, some thoughts from you.
Thank you. It's at times like this when being part of a community of like-minded individuals and professionals is really important. Looking after our members, our students, our valued partners, and the public interest is our highest priority. Over the last few weeks, we've been changing the way we do things. We've been innovating with supporting our members at the center of our thoughts through that time. We've been delivering free CPD online. We've had a webinar on critical issues finance business leaders are facing today to share practical suggestions for how to help you and your teams navigate their business through this pandemic. On a more individual basis, the CIMA Benevolent Fund is a resource for members going through periods of financial difficulty. And if you know one of our members in need, please refer them to the Benevolent Fund.
You know, Andrew, thank you for that. And that benevolent point is a critical one. And obviously the activities sort of virtually for everyone. And with that in mind, we've been meeting with a lot of our members on our regional advisory panels from around the world, because obviously the issues in different parts of the world are slightly different. We're all dealing with a global pandemic, but how those manifest themselves in a different environment and what governments are doing in each one of those areas is very different. And as part of our advocacy role, we're playing as much of an influence point we can on things like small business, things like government support, tax programs, et cetera, throughout the world. And each of those are as personalized as they possibly can be.
We've not only met with our regional advisory board, but also our members in practice group. And that's enabled us to turn conversations into actions. It's enabled us to deal directly with the Chancellor of the Exchequer. And, you know, in particular around last week, 5 key measures to help the self-employed, to help SMEs. We're going on beyond that. And we're thinking about that kind of stuff across the world. In particular, the sort of things that we've been looking at have been the access to state bank loans. Lots of great intentions, but the reality of making that happen has been tough. How can we make that happen? What might we be doing around taxes? Slowing down the remittance of taxes to government, really enabling businesses to maintain their working capital. You know, and of our first 5 points, we were delighted to see that 3 of those 5 points appeared in the final government plan. As I said, we're standing up that approach across the world. We're looking at Hong Kong, and we're going to be looking at Southern Africa over the coming days. We've seen successes in our advocacy in the UK and in the US. Being part of our association gives us access to great support and great influence. And we think this is going to be increasingly important as we go forward. Governments are going to turn their attention from triage to economic recovery. And that's going to be absolutely critical and a really important part for management accountants to play in that.
And Andrew, as you said, when we're making these advocacy points, and I totally agree with the emphasis on small business and self-employed being keys to the economy turning around, in every corner of the globe, to speak. This is something we've been able to articulate, speaking as the association, as a combined voice of 650,000 people who are committed to the profession. And that's a very powerful tool for us to be using right now. And as I think about the next generation of members, students, students who are in this process and who see the value of our profession and who want to be part of this profession for the remainder of their careers, students are finding it, challenging at this time. How do you find the time? How do you really get into test centers? How do you move your career along when so many things in the economy are sort of put on pause? But we have some really exciting news, an incredible leadership position that we've been able to work through as it relates to our student activities, and specifically the exam part. And Andrew, you've been instrumental in that along with your team. And so I think it's important to share some of that.
Yeah, Barry, thank you. Our association exam teams have really pulled up some, I was going to say pulled up some trees. They pulled up some forests over the last 2 weeks. We've been working with Pearson VUE to see what we can do. Their test centres across the world have been progressively closed down over the last few weeks, and I've received personal messages from students. I have downtime at work. This is my perfect opportunity to really drive forward my studying. What can you help me with this? The answer to that is we can help them. We're now in a position where we're able to deliver through a secure platform our objective tests and our case studies from home with effect from May this year. You'll see information of this, including videos, on our website and through your My CIMA portal. Details of how to register for these exams are going to be coming out over the coming days. But we're really doing this so that students can continue their studies uninterrupted. If they have time when they're at home, they're able to really focus and use that time. Because as you said, Barry, this is important. Businesses are going to need their finance people like they never have before. And the better prepared our students are to serve their businesses when we go back into restarting economies, driving that growth hard, then those skills that they've achieved, those skills they've been certified in, are going to be absolutely critical.
Thank you for that, Andrew. I think that the effort here to really do something that's really not happening anywhere else in the world, no other organization, about putting the exam activity back in place, is something that I think again shows our strength as an organization, as the association, 650,000 strong, to be able to make that happen. And so, thank you for your personal leadership on that. As we close this, I'd like to just offer maybe a broad perspective. We're facing a medical challenge, and our medical colleagues, our medical professionals, are leading that charge, and they're doing tremendous work around the globe and on the front lines. And we have to rely on them as medical professionals to solve this particular problem. But soon that will shift to what's necessary to heal the economy, heal the global economy. And really, our profession, our 650,000 members and students, are maybe the most important, best positioned group of individuals to really drive that outcome. Collectively, we are a group of highly talented people, ethical people, committed people who can make the right types of recommendations and insights into businesses, small and large. And I think you heard in this video that Andrew's emphasis that has been throughout the world on small and medium-sized enterprises is one that we have focused on. A lot of government leaders and parliaments have focused on major parts of large business, and it's appropriate. But small business will be the engine that drives consumerism and gets money flow really back into the system. And our advice in those areas, our ability to keep businesses operating, and the ability to connect the dots, which we've been talking about in the future of finance moving forward, has never been more critical. And so each of us have this critical role, a critical role to help heal the economic uncertainty of the globe. And I know each and every one of you will do your best to that. And our commitment, I can speak for Andrew and I and all of the team, is to bring the best possible tools and advice to help you do that successfully. And when we do, we'll have made the world a better place. Thank you very much.